Hello, my name is Sue Sweetek. I'm the owner of Hubba Foods in York, Maine. Today we are going to be making Hubba Bubbacue ribs. And if you have ever met me before or placed an online order, this card will be very familiar to you because we give them out with all of our spices. So we are going to start with a rack of baby back ribs. If you have never made ribs before, the back of a rack of ribs has something called silver skin on it. I have removed the silver skin. I've tossed it here. And the way to get rid of it is to just use a very small knife and peel up a corner of it, grab a paper towel, grab the corner of the silver skin and give it a pull, and it will come right off of the back because it will never get tender. So you cannot leave it on there because it'll make your ribs chewy. Okay, the next step for this recipe is that we are going to cut this rib up with this rack of ribs up into pieces because we will not fit the entire rack in my slow cooker. So I'm gonna start counting ribs and cut them into 2 rib sections. So there's 1, 2 bones, and now we cut the meat. 1, 2 bones, cut the meat. I'm not cutting any bones, I'm cutting just the meat in between. Okay, here we go. So you get the idea. Let's set that aside. Okay, next thing we're going to do is build our barbecue sauce. So we are going to start with a cup of ketchup as the base. And we've got a half a cup of honey. And I have sprayed this cup with nonstick spray before I measured out the honey, and it helps it release from the cup much easier. There it goes, all that honey's out. That's gonna give us flavor and help caramelize. Okay, next step in our barbecue sauce is 3 tablespoons of Hubba Bubbacue, and we are going to talk in a minute about Hubba Bubbacue, but let's get this sauce going first. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. Okay. I'm gonna give it a whisk. If you see me cook before, you know. You stir with one hand and you spin the bowl with the other and you'll get a nice even mix. Okay, that's done. Next, we are going to take our ribs. This is 4 pounds of baby back ribs that I've cut into those 2 rib pieces. I've still got my gloves on because I am going to dig right in there and cover those ribs with that sauce. And there's a lot of sauce, but you'll see in a little bit why there is so much sauce in there. Okay, that is done. And now I can take my gloves off. I keep a trash bowl nearby. Okay, so now we are going to get the slow cooker because I don't know about you, but I don't like grilling in Maine in the middle of winter. So I'm gonna grab my slow cooker, or in this case, it's a multi-cooker, but you can use a traditional slow cooker. And we are going to put the ribs in there. I like to put the meaty side down. If your slow cooker is big enough to get them in a single layer in the bottom of the pot, great. If not, don't be concerned. The recipe will still work. Okay, see now there's a lot of sauce still left in the bottom of this pot. Don't worry about it, it's all going in. Get it all in there because we need all that flavor and the liquid that will help our ribs cook. Okay, that's all in there. So we are going to put the lid on the slow cooker. Set it for 8 hours if you're cooking on low and 4 hours if you're cooking on high. And I'm just gonna set this aside and show you what it looks like when it's done. So these are not the most appetizing looking ribs I've ever seen. It doesn't have that beautiful caramelized exterior that you get when you get ribs at a great barbecue joint, but I have a way of fixing that. So these are all the juices that were at the bottom of the Instant Pot or the slow cooker. And there is fat in here from the ribs. I am going to skim that off in my little trash bowl. Let's get as much fat out of here as we can. Little liquid gold for some of you, but I don't want all that fat in my ribs. Okay, now I have a brush and look at all that beautiful barbecue sauce. I am going to brush our ribs with the sauce all over. It's already looking so much better. We're gonna get that sauce all over our ribs. Don't forget, this meaty side is the part we eat, not the bone side. So this is the side we want facing up. And be generous. Get as much of that sauce on there as you can. A nice, thick layer. Almost done. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Okay, last rib. Okay, we still have plenty of sauce left if we need it. I am putting this under the broiler. And we're gonna keep an eye on it. So while we're keeping an eye on that, let's talk a little bit about Hubba Bubbacue. Here it is right here, that's what it looks like. It's a combination of granulated garlic, granulated onions, salt and pepper, some chipotle pepper, and sugar is in there. And the chipotle pepper is actually a jalapeno that has been smoked. So the great thing about what chipotle brings to this rub is that it adds a mild smokiness and a little bit of heat, not overpowering heat. And in addition, we also have in here a little allspice. One of my favorite things to do when I'm developing a rub is to add an ingredient that is traditionally in sweet things like desserts. So that I put a little allspice in here. It gives a very interesting background note to a barbecue rub. And you can use this on everything from sprinkling on your popcorn, putting it in your meatloaf. There's so many different ways to do this. Put it on chicken, pork, put it on a steak, and it's really, really enjoyable. I'm gonna take a quick peek at our ribs because I can actually hear sizzling going on right now. We are almost ready there. I'm gonna give you another tip if you make this recipe at home, which is to, when you go to put your ribs on your cookie sheet, you may have noticed there was tinfoil on my sheet pan because I'm not a big fan of scrubbing pots and pans. So I cover the sheet pan with foil, and then I spray it with some nonstick spray. And that way we're sure those ribs are gonna come up off the pan easily so that we can hurry up and eat them. I'm also gonna get myself a plate ready here because you better believe I wanna taste these when they come out of the oven. Let's take another peek. Okay. Now it's up to you how long you leave them under the broiler. If you want a really good char on them, like when you're grilling at home, you like ribs that get a nice char, you can do that. I left them a little bit less than that, but let's see how hot this is. Ooh, very hot to the touch. I'm gonna grab a pair of tongs. That sauce is delicious. There is a very, very, very mild heat. And let's see if I can brave. Woo, hot. I don't know if you can see it. These are literally falling off the bone. So tender. That honey's really coming through. Gotta lick your fingers. So yummy. I hope you try this recipe. I have posted the recipe in the comments. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Enjoy.